What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Swagcast. This week, I have an exciting guest, a man just following his dreams, a UFC 5 creator that turned into variety content, a TikTok household name, EyeGameUWatch. What's going on, baby?
Hey, what's going on, brother? Hope all is well.
Hell yeah, man. All's well. I'm a little sore. You know, I had jitsu last night. I got caught in a mean armbar by a risky white belt, I would say. But I'm doing good. You know, getting the stretching in. We have a lot to talk about. You know, you became a full-time creator recently, and I'm addicted to one video you have on YouTube. So I want to talk about that first.
Okay.
Your video on YouTube you dropped about 3 months ago, I believe. And it kind of covers everything where you left your job and became a full-time creator. Can you kind of dive into that a little bit?
Yeah. So basically what happened was me and my job, like every job starts off great. And then there's always something happens to make the job not so great. So yeah. I had my moment. I was up for a promotion. I didn't get the promotion, and it kind of fucked with me mentally. So then, and I was just dealing with a lot of personal things in my life at that moment. So, you know, I took a leave of absence, and then when I took a leave of absence, I got into an accident. I had moved from Seattle, Washington to Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So when I moved to Colorado Springs, the first day of moving here, while moving in, I fell through some steps at my apartment. So I had fucked my back up. So for like the first 2 months, you know, I wasn't working. My back was fucked up. You know, I was just smoking weed, drinking alcohol, watching anime, watching TV, playing video games, just rotting away, man. Just really rotting away. And then, you know, one of my close friends, he had told me, yo, you got, you know, you just going to sit here and rot your life away pretty much. You know, you're given an opportunity to kind of like, you know, better yourself. You know, you move to a new spot, so you're just going to rot your life away. And I'm like, fuck. So I already had all my camera equipment, you know. I used to be a personal coach, like a weightlifting coach and shit like that. But then I got fat again because I stopped working out, just, you know, started drinking. I picked up drinking and stopped working out. That's a bad combination.
A really bad combination.
Yeah. And I'm already smoking munchies and all this thing. So, you know, I already had all my camera equipment from that moment. You know, I had a capture card because, you know, I was dabbling into like the UFC 4 on Twitch. But I didn't really, you know, take it serious, just dabbled in it. Then I let it go. But at that time, it was like, all right, what do I do? Do I do real estate? Because at that moment, I'm looking for a career change. Mm-hmm. Do I do real estate? Do I just start back working out and then get back in shape and then do content? Or do I just do content of me playing video games? Because all I was doing was playing video games anyway, and I had all the equipment. You know, my back was fucked up, so I really couldn't move too much, couldn't work out. So I was like, okay, can't work out. You know, I'm not working. I got all this equipment, and I'm playing video games. Let's see what we can do. So I gave myself 4 months. Mm-hmm. And when I gave myself 4 months, I was like, all right, in 4 months, I will be returning back to work, and I'll have an opportunity to see how far I can take this. So for 4 months, for 21 to 22 hours a day, I was playing video games with my camera on and posting videos. I was posting 6 to 7 videos a day. And then on the 20th day of, you know, spending 20 to 21 hours a day, my first video went viral. Mm-hmm. It was a Call of Duty video. And I was like, well, no, I'm sorry. It was a Madden video. And I was like, okay, this feels pretty good. You know, 2 days later, a Call of Duty video went viral. And I was like, shit. All right. And I had like, you know, like 3,000 followers at that time. while all that was going viral.
Mm-hmm.
And I was only playing Madden, and I was only playing Call of Duty for that type of content to try to make something happen. And I was reluctant to play UFC. However, I was a top 100%. I was a top 100 player at the time. But I was reluctant to make content about it because I'm like, man, this game is dead as fuck. And I saw what it was on Twitch, and I'm like, I'm not finna try to play a game that's dead. And I got 4 months to try to make something happen. And I was still reluctant, still posting Madden, still posting Call of Duty content. And then one day I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna post a UFC 5 video and see what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The UFC 5 video I post hit 1.2 million views, and I shot up from 3,000 followers to 10,000 followers. And then I was just like, well, shit, guess I'm making UFC 4 content. And that's how it fucking started.
Yeah, that UFC community, it really, especially on TikTok and platforms like that, they really come together and all explode. Like that's exactly what happened to like King Diaz too. And so you start making Madden and Call of Duty content, which in my opinion, going from Madden to UFC is crazy because they're both made by EA and both horrible games. However, I also play them both, unfortunately. But so you're making all of this UFC content, and then one day you just kind of decide, I don't like this game. I'm not having fun on it. Like, yeah, you're really good, and the content's doing really good, but you're not having fun on it, and you're not the only content creator that feels that way. But then you start doing this variety content, and something that you're doing right now that's hitting, that's an amazing idea from you, the 60 minutes. You're picking a game and you're playing it for only 60 minutes, and then if you don't like it, you delete it and you never play it again. When did you get that idea? Like, how did you get that idea? Were you just kind of sitting around like, how can I get off of UFC? Like, when did that kind of come about for you?
Yeah, so the 60 minutes to impress idea came to me last August. So it actually came to me 6 months before I actually did the video, the first one. So I was like, I was doing the UFC reactions where I was reacting to, my followers' knockouts. So if something was good, I'll say good shit. If it wasn't, I'll scream next. And I would say not impressed next, and I'll scream it. And people loved it. So I'm like, every time I pop up a stream, every time, I post a video, I play any type of game, not impressed next. They just kept saying it. So at first I was tired of the shit. I'm just like, man, I'm so fucking sick of it. Like, I don't want to keep doing this shit. I don't want to keep doing no fucking UFC 4 reactions, reacting to my followers' knockouts. So then I was like, what if I was just to play a video game for 60 minutes and then, at the very end, if I like it, I'll say good shit. At the very end, if I don't, I'll scream next. So I just took the UFC 5 knockouts that I was reacting to, took the exact same formula and just switched it to a game. I put a timer there, and then I would just play the game. So initially, when I thought about it, I was like, all right, I'll just get Xbox Game Pass, because I'm like, all right, the games are free. I pay a monthly subscription, and I was initially just going to do it with Game Pass games. But, I just never did it. I just kept talking about it. I just kept talking about the fucking ideal, and I didn't do the video. And I would talk to King 12 Diaz about it, and I was like, man, I got to do this idea. He was like, bro, you should do it. But then, UFC 5 dropped, and I was like, all right, cool. Let me get my bag. Let me, see how far I can grow with it. Hopefully the game is great. I was hoping that the game was great because I kind of did the math. I'm one of the top content creators in the space, and if the game is great, I should get a boost in viewership. I should get a boost in viewers because the game is popular, and I'm one of the most popular content creators that's doing the game. The game was just fucking horrible. It was the same game as UFC 4, so I'm like, all right, I fucking hate playing this game. I'm tired of people in my inbox every fucking day just saying dumb shit just to try to fight me. Every time I play any type of game, they want to play me in UFC, like, but the game is just not doing what it needed to do.
Mm.
So I just sat on the idea for 6 months, and then in January of this year, I was like, you know what? I'm not posting no more UFC content. So I stopped. I just went cold turkey. So I started doing gaming news. I stopped doing the UFC reactions. I was doing gaming news. I started, playing Call of Duty. I started painting my face. I put on a fucking tactical vest. Like, I'm trying everything that I can fucking do to not have to post UFC content. People was talking shit. People was laughing. Oh, you're making an ass of yourself. But when they see me making an ass of myself, I see me trying something different and trying to be great. But they see me making an ass of myself. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to keep trying shit.
Mm-hmm.
So then I tried the first video. I tried the first 60 minutes to impress. At that time, I didn't even have the timer. I did the video and it was ready or not. The video did 70,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
And when the video did 70,000 views, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. But it was my first shot at doing the 60 minutes to impress. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. So then I waited 12 more days to post the next 60 minutes to impress. So I went right back to gaming news. That ain't working. But before I could finish this part of the story, I'll say this. The reason that I was able to switch over and try the reason I was able to stop doing UFC 4 or 5 cold turkey is because I had something that a lot of creators don't have. And I had a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
So the sponsor gave me a certain amount of money for the next few months, which was 5 Hour Energy. That's why I'm grateful for them. They gave me a sponsorship. So for the next 6 months with my sponsorships, it did not matter. All my bills were going to get paid because I would negotiated a deal that way. So already I got 6 months to figure this shit out with UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then like 10 days later, now I'll get back to the story. So 10 days later, I posted the second 60 minutes to impress, which was Skull and Bones. I absolutely hated Skull and Bones. So me hating Skull and Bones and my genuine reaction to it and how I truly felt about it, the video did 2.5 million views.
Mm-hmm.
So it went viral. I'm like, okay, great. So then, then I did the next video, did 700,000. And then the video after that, 1.6, 2.2, 3.5, and then 4.5. And then, all of a sudden, I got sponsors in my inbox. I've made the most money in 1 month than I've made. I'll just leave it at that. It's surreal.
Mm-hmm.
It's surreal.
You're killing it right now, and it must be. How long has it been since you've been a full-time creator? Has it been over a year now?
Yes, from May to May. Yeah. So it's been almost over 12 months.
Do you
13 months.
Do you ever look back and think like, holy shit, thank God I got out of that job. Thank God I shot for this. Like, I'm so happy I shot for my dreams. Do you ever like look back and be like, holy shit, I made it. Like, I did it. Like, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I do. It's very emotional for me at times. Like, nothing bothers me. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I'm blessed. Like, but there's times where I just reflect on my life and just break down and start crying because I'm like, bro, like, I was just working a job that I fucking hated. And now I'm waking up when I want to wake up. I wake up with no alarm clock. I go to sleep with no alarm clock. I mean, I do what I want to do. Like, the little things in life that I'm blessed to have right now, I don't take for granted. Like, just those little things. Like, a year ago, if I had I had an issue with my car like 2 weeks ago. It cost me $900. A year ago, I wouldn't have made it. Like something like I couldn't do it. And then 2 weeks ago that problem happened, and the guy called me and told me what the issue. He's like $900, and he paused. I'm like, well, just fix the car. Like that moment made it all worth it. And when I say that, and it's not about the money, because trust me, it's not about the money. What it's about for me is the freedom and the luxury of not having to punch a clock, the luxury of being able to go to sleep when you want to, the luxury of not taking a day off, but knowing I don't have to work today if I truly don't want to. And there's nobody is going to, talk shit to me for calling out. Like that shit is priceless. And I wouldn't trade that for nothing in the world.
Yeah, you talking about it's making me a little bit emotional too, because like I'm on that grind right now. Like I feel a lot of us creators are on that grind to get to the point where you are. And my dad used to always say, God rest his soul, you will never work another day in your life if your job makes you happy. And that, like, it doesn't even seem like you're working a job. You're just living life. You're just doing your thing. So I do want to get into, you said earlier that you used to be a personal coach, a weightlifter, and you had also injured your back, and you couldn't get back into exercise for a little bit. But I did see recently on Twitter, I think a month ago, you said that you were going to get back into it and start getting back onto the weight loss journey and start getting into it. Have you already started on the weight loss journey?
Yeah, I started. I started, and it's something that I have to do. It's something that I have to do. It's the thing that I truly believe that will take me to the next level. And if I truly believe that it will take me to the next level, just like when I believed, I have 4 months to make this happen. What can I do? And I'm gonna give it my 100% all. Like it's that type of conviction. Like I know for a fact, even if nobody else believes it, as long as I believe it, it matters. But I know 100% for a fact, with 100% conviction, if I was to lose weight and look like the person that I used to look like before I look like this person, with the platform that I have, the influence that I have, the entertainment value that I have, all these things that I have, I will be the biggest content creator. If not the biggest, I will be in the top 5 of content creation. And so if me having to lose 100 pounds, if that's all it takes for me to be in the top 5 of content creation, then it's a no-brainer and it's worth it.
Yeah, I was actually saying the other day, it's a little joke in my community that all of the big creators are jacked. Except for like Sketch. Sketch got an ice cream cone built, but like everybody else is like jacked. And yeah, no, if you're jacked and you put that tactical vest back on, people aren't gonna make fun of you. They gonna be scared of you. They go be scared.
It's funny you say that, because like you would think that would be my thought pattern behind it. But that's not my thought pattern behind it. It's not about being jacked. What it is about is the confidence.
Okay.
If I have this much confidence as a fat man on camera with people talking shit, and I have my insecurities already, if I was to wipe all of my insecurities away, because the only insecurity that I have is my weight, but I still, I still showcase it because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But that's my only insecurity. So if I can eliminate one flaw that I have mentally about myself, that puts me in a different category of accomplishing shit. Because all of this shit, that one thing that I've learned about this game is confidence. Confidence will lead to greatness, because you got to have confidence that this shit will work when you post a video and it get 2 views. You got to have confidence to make 100 videos and nobody watch that on the 101 video that somebody will watch. So it's all about just increasing the confidence.
Yep, you just gotta that's a big thing for me. A big thing for me is I've always been confident about the grind, and then now kind of with the work ethic too, because it's not all confidence. You also have to work behind it as well. And that's another thing that you have the work ethic. I wake up daily at 4 a.m. to go to my day job, and I messaged you the other day at 4 a.m. and you were up, and you're 2 hours behind me, and it was 2 a.m. for you. I was like, the fuck is he doing awake right now? So I assume you were grinding. You were doing some kind of edits, or maybe you were just chilling, just finished. Can you kind of talk about the work ethic and how you continue to keep up with the edits and everything it takes to do what you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll say this. A lot of times, like, well, I'll just say this: the more success you have, it just makes you more of what you already are. Mm-hmm. And I am a procrastinator. I do procrastinate. Like, everybody procrastinate. Like, I talk to content creators. I got a lot of them in my phone. A lot of them procrastinate by the standard of, what everybody like to portray, that like, man, I'm just grinding. I'm pushing. That's not always the case. Mm-mm. So what I do is I just choose how I procrastinate. So what I will do is I would sacrifice sleep for procrastination. So instead of me getting, 6 hours of sleep, I'll maybe get 3 hours of sleep if I can get 3 hours of procrastination. Because the rest of the time I still got to do what I need to do. So like, I'm doing what I'm doing. So like, I'm just trading sleep for procrastination. Mm-hmm. So like, sometimes I'll just be playing the game with no cameras on, and that's a waste of time, in my opinion, especially what I do, because I should always have my camera on. I should always have my lights on. I should always have a microphone in front of my face. That's one of the things that I do live by. And that was the reason that I got to where I am now, because when I started doing this, I told myself I would not play a video game without that fucking camera on, even if I'm not streaming. Mm-hmm. Some people get, used to the ideal of playing the game and with no camera on. Like, you're a content creator, you're a streamer, and you say you want to make this a full-time job, but you ain't even got your fucking, you don't even have the camera on. Like, that's a no-go. Like, if you hear somebody say, oh, I want to be a streamer, man, but they never stream, do you want to be a streamer? Like, if I wanted to be a creator, so I always got to have my, my camera on just in case something happens. Like, I find myself now sitting in my living room playing the game and I don't have my camera on. Like, damn, I could have made a clip out of that. That's wasted money. Mm-hmm. You're literally wasting money. Like, there's people out there right now who want to be content creators, who want to be streamers, who play more video games than me, and I'm a full-time content creator, gamer.
Yeah, no, I've never understood the people that will, because I see it all the time over on Twitch. People will come in the chat and like ask me advice for becoming a streamer, and my main advice is, when you're playing games, just stream. Just stream whatever. Like, even if you don't have the equipment right now, because not everybody has the equipment. I was lucky enough to already have camera, mic, and stuff like that, but not everybody's in that situation. Just start streaming so you're comfortable with it, and just go. Like, I haven't played a video game off stream in forever, and I just started recording like off stream content, because forever I would just take stream content and try to turn it into YouTube videos or turn them into TikToks. And once I realized that wasn't working, and shout out King Diaz and shout out Wolfpack for this, but they were like, you got to start doing content off stream. But still, the camera's on, the mic's on, and no matter what, I'm still recording. And so I was giggling the entire time we were talking about procrastination, because I'm the biggest procrastinator too. And when I had Diaz on the podcast, he's also one of the biggest procrastinators as well. And it's hysterical to me that you straight said, nah, I just trade it for sleep, right? So like, 3 hours of procrastination, RIP sleep, I'll just sleep for 3 tonight. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And that's always been my thing. Like, if I can, if I'm gonna watch 3 hours of anime, like, just goodbye to sleep.
Mm.
And you gotta be that way. Like it has to be that way because the moment that I, gave myself to this shit, like I just gave myself to it. I didn't care what anybody thought. I didn't care that if you didn't hang out with me. I didn't care what if it was Christmas. I didn't care if it was Thanksgiving. I was gonna be doing fucking content, and I didn't care about anything. You know what happened?
Mm.
I started
Wow.
making money off this shit.
Yes, sir.
Like I started establishing a fan base. Like, so one thing I do know is that you have to be 100% selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And if people can't understand it, they can't understand it because at the end of the day, man, like if I die today, I would say, damn, that was the best year of my life. And I was playing video games and getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the best year of my life. There's no other moment in my life that can compare to this. There's not a moment in high school. There's not a moment in middle school. There's not a moment in college. There's not a moment at work. There's not a moment, any moment in life that can compare with my last year and first year of being a content creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
Nothing.
that's awesome too. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 36 years old.
So you made it in your mid 30s.
Yep.
And that's rare for content creators because usually you see a lot of content creators coming out and they're in their 20s, maybe late 20s, closer to 30, but you usually don't see the mid 30s, blowing up like you did. And people just want to relate to you. And I see you getting a lot of unk comments too. I get called unk all the time, and I'm only 27, so it does offend me. But how do you kind of like, because your fan base is definitely much younger. Maybe by like mostly 10 years, they're all probably around my age, maybe a year or two younger. How do you keep up with the younger crowd and kind of like continue to move forward and continue to relate to them?
Let me tell you why, and I'll tell you how.
Mm-hmm.
I specialize in a field that has no age limit, and that's video gaming. How many times have you passed a remote to a little kid that's like 2 years old, and they just want, and they're not even fucking playing, but they think that they're playing?
Uh-huh. A lot, actually.
Yeah, video games has no age requirements, in my opinion. So I'm in a space right now where it doesn't matter how old you are. Like there's going to be somebody 60, 50 playing video games. I grew up on games. As long as I am physically able to play video games, I am going to play video games.
Yes, sir.
It's not like I play basketball. There's an age, once you get to a certain age, you're fucked. Like I'm playing video games as long as I can see and I don't have arthritis, I'm fucking good. And even then, like Elon got a neural link, so I don't even need my hands. Like I'm like this space is for anybody. It's for anybody. There's people with disabilities that play video games, people that's old as shit to play video games, young as shit to play video games, women, men, it does not matter. So I'll always be relevant because I'm always be playing video games if I choose to play video games and record it.
Yeah, no, exactly. So the difference in like there's as young as I would say you said two, and as old as there's some grandmas out there that stream and they're in their 70s, 80s. And it's all over the place. Gaming is really everybody games now. I feel like we're at a time where everybody games, or if it's not console PC, they're at least playing something on their phone. They're at least playing some kind of mobile game, or the Facebook games are still a thing, and stuff like that. but you have like a nice relationship with your community as well. And maybe that's through the live streams, maybe that's through the long form content, but how do you keep up that relationship?
By always posting content. And believe it or not, like that's how you keep your audience. Like as long as you're able to do what you're doing and you keep doing it, you should have an audience. That's how you communicate with your audience. Like every video I give them is I'm giving them something. I'm always giving. So the more I just keep giving content, like I if you sit there and watch Kai stream, he can't touch all of his viewers. He can't physically touch. He can't read all the chat. But the one thing that he can do is keep streaming. He keeps giving you the thing that brought you to him. So as long as I keep doing that, that's how I engage with my community. Is I keep doing that.
So now you've recently started, well, maybe not recently. I believe this was also a couple months ago too. You started going live on other platforms as well and posting on other platforms. How has that been going?
It's going, but it's at the end of the day I get what I put into it, and I haven't put what I needed to put into it. And that will come sooner or later. But going back to what we was talking about the other day, I mean, not the other day, but earlier in the podcast where, I'm taking my health more serious.
Okay. Yeah.
So, it's like, okay, I can spend, 9 months prioritizing YouTube and Twitch and streaming. And then, and I still got to do content creation. I still got to maintain relationships. But then don't really prioritize my health. So now I'm putting health 1, content creation 2, and then everything else just fits in where it fits in. That can be streaming, that can be other platforms, but it goes back to what I told you, what I truly believe. Yeah. I believe that if I take care of this with my platform and my personality, it's going to open up so many more opportunities for me. So I need to prioritize this first.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in if you look good, feel good, you're gonna act good, and you're gonna be able to do more with yourself. I I always took shit care of myself for the longest time up until I had a wrestling match in January with EA UFC Game Changer Anthony Romero, and I got absolutely dog walked. And then after that, I started jiu-jitsu, and the last 4 months I've felt the best I've ever felt. And it's just because now I'm taking care of myself. I'm working out on my off days. I'm going to jiu-jitsu 4 times a week, and I'm really grinding the healthy side, which I feel like also opens up more and motivates me to make more content and do better content and continue to open it up and do more like that. So what kind of exercising do you do? Because you were a weight personal trainer, so you must do some like crazy shit like deadlifts and like wild weightlifting stuff, no? Or have you started it easy because you're just getting back into it?
If I was to go back to where I was physically, I would die. Okay. If I was to try to do what I used to do, I would die. Like physically at this part of my life right now, physically, I can't do that again. Yeah. Until I get back to that, I gotta eat. That was a process. Back in the right now, what I do is, I bought a little sauna box. So I start my morning off first thing in the morning. I wake up at 4 or 3:45, and around 4 to 4:45, I'm getting right. However I get right. So I'm taking care of that. And then I turn my steam room on. So I go to my steam room. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Take that back. I go work out first. So I go downstairs, work out, do about 15 to 20 minutes workout, and then I'll come back, steam, have my coffee, take a shower, have my coffee, and then I'll work out again. I try to get 2 20-minute sessions in a day right now, and then steam, and then just try to eat 1 to 2 meals a day. I just want to be as simple as possible right now, at least.
Yeah. Well, that's the best way to get back into it, because you have been away from it for a while and you were hurt. You had the back injury too, so you don't want to push it too much. Even if the back does feel 100%, you don't want to go too crazy with it. So maybe those workouts that you're doing are good right now, and it will eventually lead to, you're doing 2 20 minutes right now. Maybe in 2 months you're doing 2 30 minutes, and then you're eventually doing an hour a piece, like 1 in the morning and 1 in the night. And do you see it expanding like that? Like you're gonna continue like going up on the workouts you're doing and stuff?
So right now my plan is I have a plan. For 1 month we do 20-minute workouts, and then on month 2 we take it up to 30 minutes. Then month 3 we take it up to 45 minutes. But it's not just, one workout. It's like 2 a day, 2 or 3 times a day. Because, back when I was in my best, shape, I used to eat 1 time every 72 hours. And I would wake up in the morning, lift weights. And then 2 hours later, I would go to jujitsu training. And then after jujitsu training, I would lift weights again. Then I would go to work. And then after I get off work, I would work out again. And these used to be, 45-minute workouts where, I'll just take 2 exercises and I set a 45-minute timer, and I would just do that nonstop, those 2 exercises nonstop for 45 minutes. So like, it would be like bench press, 185 pounds 10 times. And then I'll turn around and do bend over rows of 185 10 times. So I would just repeat those for 45 minutes.
I'm 155 pounds. You're lifting more than me. That's insane. Like 30 pounds more than me. Like you're lifting 2 swaggies.
No, that's what I used to be able to do. Now I can't even, deadlift 135 from my back fucked up. But those things we'll figure out.
Well, do you think you'll be able to get back to where you used to be? Or maybe at least like not the 45 minutes, but.
So right now, physically, I have 3 herniated discs and 2 ruptured discs in my back. And now I ain't doing no back surgery, so we're gonna see.
Yeah,
I'm too young for back surgery.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say that sounds like a required surgery, and my mother actually got back surgery about 3 years ago, but she was in her mid-50s. So you are way too young for back surgery. I do agree. I do think you could rehab it, and like you probably wouldn't be able to go back up to the 185 though. You're never gonna be lifting 2 swaggies again. However, so you actually answered my next question. I was gonna ask if you had combat any like combat experience with training like jiu-jitsu or wrestling or Muay Thai, and you said you used to do jiu-jitsu. What belt were you?
Blue belt.
Oh, let's go. Do you have any do you think you're gonna go back to jiu-jitsu, or is that kind of done?
Once I get smaller, and I'll see how my back feels, because one thing about jiu-jitsu, you can really fuck your back up too. Like, that's a lot of strain on your back just in general. So, we'll see. I would love to. Now I'm only using it if I got to right now. I ain't finna go train. Like, that's kind of how that goes right now. Yeah,
my professor always says, this might not work on the map, but in these streets, that's what you're using it for.
Facts.
All right, so now I want to completely do a 360. You said a bunch of times you watch anime. Top 3 animes right now. What's your top 3? Give me a list.
Of all time?
All time. Top 3 favorite.
Hunter x Hunter, number 1. Demon Slayer, number 2. Dragon Ball, number 3.
Okay, all right. I love that list. You got taste, brother. Let's go. Hunter x Hunter is probably it's also in my list. Demon Slayer's incredible, and I was a Naruto guy myself. You know, I feel like if you like Naruto, Dragon Ball is a little bit lower for you, but if you like Dragon Ball, Naruto is a little bit lower for you. I was a Naruto guy myself, however, but that's a crazy list. And how long have you been an anime fan? Have you been an anime fan forever?
Since I was 24. So a little over a decade now.
Okay,
About 12 years.
You got into it like literally the same exact time I got into anime.
I got into it. The first anime that I watched, like I used to watch Dragon Ball, but I don't consider Dragon Ball like an anime because that used to come on when I was, getting home from school.
Yeah.
So like, but like, having to have a Japanese subscription like Crunchyroll or something like that. Like the first anime I watched was Attack on Titan, and that started it for me.
Mm-hmm. Attack on Titan's fire. That one, you really have to pay attention to Attack on Titan too, because you can get real confused real fast in that goddamn show. Man, yeah, animes are amazing. Okay, so one last question I wanted to ask you. In one of your most recent TikToks, it's actually what we talked about. You were talking about the 60-minute videos in that TikTok. But one thing I took away from it, and I had noted it down about a week ago, you said that you signed a deal with your old company. When you said that, the company you used to work for, like the company that you left and became a content creator from, that must have felt incredible. Did they reach out to you for that, or did you reach out to them?
Okay, so how that part happened. So I don't know if they know that I worked for them. I don't know because I wasn't doing, like they didn't know the content creation side of me. I kept that part of my life very private. So when I actually got laid off, like I got laid off in last year, April. No, I'm sorry. No, I got laid off in April. And, April 3rd, I became a full-time content creator. And the name of the company was, I used to work for Xfinity. So they laid me off. And then like 3 days later, I got monetized on TikTok. And I was like, all right, cool. And I just kept grinding. The money kept coming in. And I was like, all right, I'm not really missing a beat or whatnot. So January, they hit me up in my email and it was like, yo, we want to partner with you for 2 videos. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I don't know that they know that I used to work for them. But they hit me up and I'm just like, all right, cool. So I told them my rate. At first I was like, they probably gonna say no. But then they came back and said, yeah. Because I told them my rate before the 60 minutes to impress. So I got this, they reached out to me before I did the 60 minutes to impress. But when I told them my rate, they didn't respond to me. But then I did the 60 minutes to impress, which was like 2 or 3 weeks later after I told them my rate and I didn't get a response. About a second video, they reached back out to me and said, yeah, we want in.
Oh, shit.
So, that was at that moment I realized that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. There's certain moments in life where you like when you're doing something, then you have that moment like, I'm supposed to be doing this. Like I see this. Like for me to get fired as an employee, like I'm not good enough as an employee, technically speaking. You passed me up on the promotion. I wasn't good enough as an employee, so you decided to part ways with me. I was not good enough. There's no way you can tell somebody that. If you let them go, then it's because they're not good enough for you then. But then once I started doing my own thing, now I'm good enough. Now I'm good enough.
That you just gave me like a Jamala Hill like talk right there. That's incredible. Well, shit, it's been an honor to talk to you. Thank you so much again for coming on. We've been talking for almost an hour now. Do you have anything you want to shout out? Any codes you want to tell the people? Anything like that before we get out of here?
Only thing I'll say is this. If you're watching this, no matter how fucked up you think your life is or how great you think life is going, always remember this. It could be gone tomorrow. So just do everything you can to live the best life you want to live. That's all I got to say.
Thank you so much, brother. We will see y'all next Wednesday. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you have not already. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.